Alright, so we took the deck to locals this weekend. We did pretty well, actually. I was very pleased with the list. It ran very well, and of course we'll dig on into that shortly. But yeah, the deck was very consistent overall. But before we start, I wanted to go over my tournament report really quick. So round one, I played Madolches, and we won that one 2-0. He won the die roll, summoned Hoot Cake, I Veilered. Like he Angeli summoned Hoot Cake, I Veilered, he passed. I went full combo. And then game two, he went first again, he normal Mageline, I Veilered, he passed, and then I killed him. Not a ton he could have done about that. His hand just was less than optimal. Round two, I played against my buddy who was playing a Gizmek combo deck. It was actually kind of an insane list because the Gizmek field spell is like a one-sided skill drain, and then he puts up like double Herald and something else. I think it's like a rank 8. He puts up like a rank 8 as well. At least he is the idea. But he lost the die roll, and then I ended up going first, and I went full combo. He conceded. Game two, I didn't realize what his actual strategy was, and he was going for like a Halka Fibrax line. So like he goes Halk into a Rorodon, and I didn't realize that, so I Veilered in the wrong spot, and they just went Halk combo. So that's unfortunate. So I lost that one. And then game three, he just punted. He just fucked up his combo. He forgot that Colt Wings level increased but from the tokens, so he ended up losing that one. So it's rather unfortunate because I Veilered his Halk, and then he had a Gizmek in hand, and he summoned that and made a Rorodon, and then I Veilered the Rorodon, and he had to reroute to get to the Colt Wing, and then yeah, he just fucked up, so I ended up winning that one. Round three, I ended up playing Geist. We actually had a very close game. I won the die roll, I went full combo, he conceded. Game two, he had opened with Secret Village, and then set 3, and then he had Faker in hand, so he goes Protocol, summoned Faker, and I believe I chained Twin and targeted the field spell and one of his other back rows. He chains his IDP, and he takes my starter Synchron that I discarded off the Twins, and then he proceeds to flip Metaverse. So my hand was double tuning and overtake, I think, and I just ended up losing that game. There's nothing I could do, so that's unfortunate. And then game three, we actually grinded out some, and somehow I pulled through and outgrinded him, and ended up winning the match from like getting into a Chaos Ruler play finally to go into Hot Red Abyss, and then summon back the Ruler and kill him because he ended up like striking and stuff, so he was down on life. Round four was rather unfortunate. I played against my buddy who plays the rank 4 fish deck. The profile's on my channel too if you do want to see that. That deck is nuts. Because, you know, the problem lying with that deck is he summons Toad on 4, and then he makes 2 more Sharks, summons 2 more Toads, and then makes F-Zero. So he ends on triple Toad F-Zero through Nibiru, and most hand traps, to be honest. Yeah, there's nothing I can really do to that because there's nothing in the main deck that's going to allow me to play through that. And my sideboard was not geared to play against that matchup. So, I mean, to be honest, how am I supposed to prepare for the fucking rank 4 fish deck? So we ended up losing that one as well, unfortunately. So I was like, okay, X-1, this is fine. I can walk away with this. You know, that's cool. I was, you know, pretty exhausted at this point anyway. I'm like, man, fucking playing the Synchron deck takes a lot out of you. But they posted a round 5 because there was a 3-way tie for second. So the fish guy got first, and then the other, I think it was like 3 or 4 of us were all tied for second because we all had the same score, and the tiebreakers just ended up like canceling each other out. So we played a round 5, and I played against my buddy Omni's YGO House. I'll leave the link in the description to his channel. He was on Dragon Link, and game one I made this board. He conceded. So yeah, that was like insane, like macro with triple negate. Yeah, he conceded to that. So game one I made that board. Game two he actually played through my Nibiru, which was kind of insane. His hand was just like that good. Like he threatened the Savage equip on 5, and then I had to Nibiru him there. So yeah, that was unfortunate. And then game three I've been kicking myself in the ass about since yesterday. It's really unfortunate what ended up happening. So I'll quickly recreate my hand and give you the daily dose of copium. Alright, so I opened this, which is completely fine. Like this hand is good. Don't get me wrong, this hand is very good. And the Arriving Light's like, whatever. If we go uninterrupted, we have Arriving Light anyway, but that's not what happened. So what happened was I go Converter Pitch at Junk, and then he goes Droll. I'm like, alright, that's fine. And on the way to the tournament, I actually gave him a ride, the guy that I played round 5, and he said that he didn't play Valor in his main deck, and he played Phantasme, which was a fucking lie. So, I normal junkie Valor, so I'm like, oh damn, that sucks. So then I tribute the Junk Synchron, and then special back the Stardust Synchron, and then I special Doppel for my hand, and I can't search my deck anyway, so it didn't matter even if I did draw this. So this is where I fucked up, because right here I have full combo. But I put this card on the board for some reason. I have no idea why, but I played this card on like a total brain fart and stacked Majestic. And then right after I stacked the Majestic Dragon, I'm like, why the fuck did I do that? Why on God's green earth would I do that? Because I could have pitched here, Special Ant, made Excel, and like made Shaman, get both of these guys back. Yeah, I could have just like went insane. So basically, I thought about it later. And through the Droll, I could have went Herald up here before Speeder, and ended on Crystal, Shen, Omega Rip. And this is macro, double negate, and Omega Rip. He plays with 3 cards. The game was a wrap. It literally would have been mine through Droll Valor, but I'm a fucking idiot. And I absolutely punted. So I've been kicking myself in the ass about that since yesterday. It's rather unfortunate. But yeah, overall the deck performed fantastically. We can get into the profile. I can quit bitching about my bad beat stories. And we can talk about the deck and things that I would like to do going forward. But yeah, that's just unfortunate. I guess, you know, we'll never make that mistake again. I just don't know what my problem was. I completely fucking shit the bed. Alright, so as far as the list goes, there's really not a whole ton to talk about because the deck is pretty cut and dry. But I'll just go through it really fast. So we have the triple Stardust Synchron, of course. You know, this is kind of trying to replace Jet for us. Triple Junk, you know, this is like your core, you know, Synchron guys. Definitely play all these at 3 because there's utility with Excel and stuff and getting multiple off, normal summoning, and then, you know, Speeder and such. But yeah, so we have the triple Junk Converter, triple Doppel. This is, you know, staple stuff. The triple Crow, this is insane. Thank you, Leo. Yeah, I originally used to play one of this because I'm like, oh, this card's hard once per turn. When we get into our Librarian draws, it'll be dead. That's just not the case. You just need to play this card. It just helps you play past stuff. Then we have the triple Dawnwalkers. This card's nuts. You know, I originally played this right before the new stuff came out, and then I ended up taking it out because I was trying the Sky Striker, the small Sky Striker engine that Leo talked about in one of his videos, where you play the 1 engage and then 1 drones and then 3 Eagle Booster, and I ended up cutting this for that, and that was just, that was a huge mistake. Yeah, no, the Dawnwalker is just like way too important. Not only is it a non-tuner, it gets you access to a tuner, it's a 1-card ruler. We know why it's good. And then we got our one-ofs, the Carrier, the 1 Cyber Synchron, and then these are like the real Garnets of the deck, is just these 3. I don't technically consider Arrive a Garnet because Arrive is a lot more playable than opening these. So, you know, I digress. Like, this one's like, alright, opening this has a lot more utility than Brotar. Yeah, this just overperformed instead of Brotar, for sure. Just the fact that we can pitch us off Converter, we can make Shaman plays off of Arrive. We could do all kinds of stuff. This card's nuts. Bring this guy back off Marcher, and we can use it as a non-tuner. It's just crazy. And then these 2 are completely fine, in my opinion, because this guy plus Crow is a speeder, and then this guy is just like sort of like a bait card. He can help you like bait out interaction, because they'll read this like extra normal and a token. Yeah, we gotta negate that guy. And also the utility. I play the 1 field spell, so the utility is there as well. Alright, so I don't have talents or droplets, so I just opted to play 6 hand traps. Honestly, I've really liked this because a lot of like would-be unplayables with talents or droplets become playables because of this, through the ways of like Converter and stuff, and just doing kind of stuff like that. And because we're playing Arrive, we can special the Valor or the Ash out of our hand as like an additional tuner if we have to get that extension. Granted, you always want to hold these back because it's just more disruption. But yeah, so far I've really liked these. Don't get me wrong, I feel like what I would honestly do would cut these for talents if I had them, and play talents in Valors, and if anything I would side droplet, but that's just me. There's a lot of like mid-range and stun at my locals. So I feel like maining the droplet isn't like super necessary, but the talents is just always going to cover your bases because this deck in general is just like a hand trap magnet. So for the spells, we got triple tuning, we have triple overtake. There's nothing to say here. These cards are just insane. Overtake, being able to summon from grave as well, is nuts to turn on doppel lines. Then we have Rhoda, one junction. I played Illumination still alongside Arriving Light, but I did not play Trail. So the theory behind this was, not playing Trail can eliminate one would-be Garnet. Even though it's not like the worst in the world, it eliminates one would-be Garnet because we're already playing the Arrive package, which is 3 sort of, you know, less desirables already in the deck. And the Illumination still has the utility to be able to send the Synchron and make it a 3 for speeder plays with Doppel. So I don't know, I really liked it. Also, I milled this off Ruler a couple times while I was sequencing. After I did all of this, I would go into Ruler and I would mill this, and it would give me a little bit more utility towards the end to like turn my Librarian into a Crystal Wing. So yeah, I really like this even without the Trail. And honestly, this was just insane. I drew this like twice. I drew the Majestic, I think, twice, and I drew Baby Mud like 1 time. But when I drew this and Majestic, I still did the full combo. I ended on this board a lot. I made this a whole lot yesterday. This was like a good majority of my wins was I made this board, and there was just like nothing they could do. And the last card in the list is just called by because we would like to play that card just because of the nature of the list. So the extra, there's also not a ton to talk about here, so we can quickly go through. So Speeder, Shaman, Metal Marcher, these are all just, you know, broken cards. Herald, I didn't miss Quandax. Sometimes I do miss Quandax. In this tournament, I did not miss Quandax. Librarian Junk for the Overtake, Excel, Charge. This over Coral all day, in my opinion. Every time that I've made this card, I always consider if this was Coral, what happens, and this card just always just strictly better. Dragster, Omega, you know, all this stuff. We play all these cards. This card was nuts. I know a lot of people aren't playing this, but I feel like because I just had the room by cutting Satellite, because I never made Satellite. Granted, Satellite's insane for whenever you're playing into a board, but I feel like we can do other things to be able to play past stuff, and this guy being 4K helps to like just beat over shit. But yeah, no, this was nuts. Just due to the fact that like when you have both of these out, it's just Macrocosmos. Like, that's kind of insane. Like, not a lot of decks can beat Macrocosmos. Also, the fact that this guy can recur itself as well. Yeah, the recursion is very nice. And of course, we played the Shooting Majestic because we're playing the Arrive and Light package. I don't know, man. This card just seems so broken. It's like just too hard to pass up. I feel like there's a lot of workaround through drawing the Arrive and Light bricks. And, you know, like I said in my previous video on the deck, we can abandon ship on this. We don't have to make this card. Like, we have the ability to still make, like, Crystal Omega, this guy, and Herald. Like, we don't have to make this. But, you know, I digress. I feel like the payoff is just too insane not to play him. It's just, like, the fact that he banishes the card he negates, too, is just, like, so fucking huge. It's kind of ridiculous. Alright, so Sideboard again, it's just another one we're just gonna kind of brush over it. Triple Nib. I played the Kaijus because a lot of people play just like Dragoon at my local, and that card's kind of just a fucking pain in the ass. It's good into the Tri-board as well, just like get rid of the Appaloosa. There was some merit to playing this. I don't know if I would continue playing it. I didn't actually side it once this tournament because I just didn't run into anything like that. But, you know, I digress. The Twins were in the side, the Evenlies as well. This is kind of what I'm doing for the back row coverage. And then I played this only because this whole sideboard was my Dragon Link sideboard. And this was actually meant to be Dark Ruler before the tournament started. But I forgot to put it in my deck before we started the tournament. So I just ran in with the Phantasmes. I sided them in once, never drew it. But, you know, if this was at least Dark Ruler, then I might have stood a chance against the Fish deck, just because, like, Ruler and Droplet are like the only things that beat that deck. Like, Nibiru does nothing because he summons a Toad on 4. So, you know, I don't really know. And, like, he has fucking 4 negates plus hand traps. So I feel like the only way to beat that deck is just simply playing Dark Ruler, because it's a fucking 2-card combo. But yeah, that's the list. I really enjoyed it. I don't really know what I would change going forward. The only, like, really the 2 flex spots that I had in the main deck, outside of just like cutting Arrive in general, was the Starlight Junction and this guy. But I was playing, like, I think it was like a Recover E-Telly. I was trying that before. One of these was Trail at one point, and I think like an Upstart or something, just like trying to like make the deck like just 39, you know, as clean cut and like consistent as possible. But I figured the theory behind this is we can turn Excel into Herald with tokens and stuff off the, you know, the send this to make him a 3. Also, it can help make Excel like a more consistent speeder line. And Junction is just a good card to draw off Librarian. Also, it can help you reroute very well through like the ways of like normal summon the guy, they Veil, you tribute it, you get this guy, you extra normal, so on. I mean, we know why Junction's good, but just a cheesy one of is just like not quite, it's very consistent. So I don't know, I liked it. I don't think I'll change it, but I feel like if anything's gonna change, it'll probably be this, and maybe just like not playing this card. Even though this, like I said, this did come in handy. Like I milled this off the ruler off a Lucky Mill and just ended up with a like an extra Crystal Wing. Like I already had Majestic Hot Red Veiler Dragster, but just like having this gave me the extra, the guy at the end there. So I don't know. I have enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, sub, so on and so forth. And I'll see you next time, guys.